I walk into the cafe, and who is there? The woman. We had never actually met in real life, but we knew who the other person was. And it felt like I was competing with her for the longest time, and there was all of this built up resentment for what she represented in my mind, the other woman, the one that kind of was always in the way. And I think she doesn't see me when I walk into the cafe. I kind of rush past and hide behind a pillar, and I think to myself, what are the chances that she's sitting in here? This is kind of crazy, especially when my friend said that they wouldn't be in this area because they don't live here, around this area. And I think, do I just run out? Like, she's not going to see me. I can just go somewhere else. Or did I walk into this cafe this morning for a reason? Is there an opportunity here to grow, to find some resolution, some closure? And I'm like, yeah, this is too weird for it to not have meaning. So I sit down at her table opposite her. She sees me, realizes it's me, jaw is dropped. And I'm like, yeah, we need to talk. And she's like, yeah, wow, okay. We skip the pleasantries and we cut straight to what's going on. We're kind of trying to clarify, what the truth actually is at this point, because we'd realized that there were so many things that didn't add up. So I said, what's your version of events from the beginning, from 2020? What is your version of events? What did he tell you? What was your impression? What did you think was going on? And what was in your head, really? Like, obviously he and I were in a relationship. Why were you even talking to him? Like, what made you think that that was okay? Because it tortured me that you guys would, have these ongoing interactions and this flirtation. Like, it just felt really inappropriate. But I didn't have the boundaries back then to feel like I could say, this isn't okay with me and you need to choose, or you can't talk to someone. I never wanted to be the type of person to say you can't talk to someone. And I didn't have the language back then to say, if you do this, then I feel this way. So I just kind of suffered in self-betrayal for a really long time before I had that skill set. There was also a point, which I forgot to mention, that at the very beginning of our relationship, probably about 1 week in, he cheated on me with her. And that was a really monumental moment. And so I asked her about that. And I said, hey, do you remember when we were all living in Portugal? And, he came over to your house one night and you guys hung out, and what happened that night? And what did he tell you? Because we were together and it was just very weird and confusing. And so we basically re-examined a year and a half of our timelines and put together all of these pieces side by side, realizing what he had told her, what he had told me, where there were things that didn't add up, where there were lies, where there was just a little bit of manipulation and maneuvering the story to make it seem a little bit different. And so basically to her, he said that, I was never really in the picture when we were working things out and talking about getting back together. I wasn't even there. Whereas to me, the conversation was, yeah, I'm deciding if it's you or her. And so the conversation was very different to both of us. But when she realized what he had said to me over the couple of months leading up to that moment, telling me that I was the one and writing me that letter, she was equally as furious as I was. So I was sitting there a bit more fragile, and she was angry and wanted to go over to his house to confront him. And I was like, I'm not going over there with you. That's crazy. I saw him last night. No way. I was like, I think you and I should make a pact though. I think that we need to stick together because clearly, he's pinned us against each other, and I think we're stronger if we stay together. So her and I kind of made this pact, and we started talking about what kind of things might have happened in our childhood that we were sort of in this situation, piecing together some theories. She told me about her dad, and I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense, man. I told her about my dad. She was like, yeah, that makes sense too. And we were both like, all right, well, we've got some similar daddy issues, so I can see why you're here. And we made a pact we kind of agreed that we were going to, no matter what, never get roped back in to the on again, off again saga of someone choosing us and us feeling like we were the one, and falling into the trap of this idealistic sense of romance and what we thought love was supposed to be or what it was supposed to look like, and realizing that it was actually very toxic. So we made that pact, we shook on it, we hugged it out and said, we never go back. Okay, I'm agreeing, never go back. Okay, yeah. I had been in the on again, off again for about a year and a half. She had been in for about, I think, close to 11 years. So for her, it was really brutal because they were just constantly on and off. And I was like, you definitely can't go back because that's your whole life. You need to start a new life, dude. She later moved to Austin, and we actually kept in touch and still kind of friendly to this day, which is really nice. And an unexpected twist in the story. They did break up. She left and she moved on. Married someone, has a kid now. She got her happily ever after, which was great. She healed from all of her things. I decided that I needed some space, and so I moved down to Tulum. When I get to Tulum, I'm like, okay, this whole relationship saga is behind me.